Hello and welcome back. In this video I will show you my process how to plot out a pattern on one of these cheap Chinese vinyl cutting plotters. You may know that these can be bought everywhere, they don't cost a fortune, and they are mainly for cutting out vinyl self-sticking thingies with an extra layer of paper beyond, and this is something not really suitable for us if we want to plot patterns for pattern making or for sewing. Therefore, I worked out a workflow how to get this on a normal roll of paper. So I put a normal roll of paper in this machine, and I will show you later. We have a two-step process here. First, a process for plotting out a pattern with all the text you need for each pattern piece. And then in a second step, changing from the pen to the knife, then cutting out these pattern pieces with a perforating line, so it will work on these plotters. Okay, so I would say we start. I use Seamly2D as a pattern making software. You can also use Valentina. Every other thing in principle it should work the same way. I already have a pattern here, trousers pattern. This time I was the first time I built the base pattern or the basic block, not from one of these fairly expensive books like I used before. I used Schiele und Schön Systemschnitt, that's a German cutting pattern making system, or also Harker, Müller und Sohn. But this time I took a YouTube video from Bo Wilder. I will put it in the description, the link, so you can take a look there. Made the basic pattern, and then out of that basic pattern I made my functional pants here. So this is how it looks like in the drafting mode. Sorry, my Seamly is switched to German, so I will also try to give you the correct translations so you find things that you need. And if I go to the pattern pieces, you can see here that there's one thing you may want to change, or more or less you need to change to get a proper workflow here. You see the outer cutting line is in red. You can choose every color you want. It's just that you need to choose another color than the rest. We will get to that a little bit later. So to get this red cutting line, you go to the File menu and then to the Options. Then here to the second one, Pattern Options. And then here to the, I don't know how this is called in English, maybe folders, something like that. And there you have here these folders, and then you have a seam line, and the second one is the cutting line. And here you can just change the color. Say OK, and then these cutting lines should be red now. So if you have made this, then we can already do the layout. It's not more to do here. For the layout, I for the moment just leave it as it is and let it calculate, because my experience is that it is not so 100% every time, as you can see here. Therefore, I leave it as it is and do the rest in Inkscape. Then you just export it. I will give it a nice name. Like YouTube. And then we are finished here in Seamly, and then we need to start Inkscape. This is the one I just saved, YouTube here. You can see it on the right, and I just open it. Then you have opened it, and you can see if you click someone, all the pieces are grouped together, one group per piece, so you can easily move them around. And what I always do is first try to get the paper size right and then rearrange all the pieces. To save a little bit paper, hopefully. Let's see if that will work out. So to get the paper piece correct, you can go here to File, Document Settings. Sorry, I have to put that in here. And then, so my plotter is, it depends on your plotter. My plotter is capable of a width of 780 millimeters. So I always take 770, so I'm on the safe side and have a little bit of margins here. And you can see in the background that it got a little bit wider. I leave the length as it is for the moment, so it's just that I have the correct width. And then I can start trying to fiddle this around like you would do or will do on the fabric itself if you cut the pattern out later on. So in Inkscape it's very easy. You just take it, turn it in the direction you want it to. And then let's see if I get that in there. Yeah. So we'll puzzle around a little bit. I won't bore you with that. We see later if I'm finished here. So I now have arranged everything. You can see, saved a little bit of paper at least, not too much, but yeah, it's okay. So the next thing you may want to do is to choose one pattern piece here, then hit Control A for selecting everything. But you see second menu here, and there's one point, this one here. You can also hit Shift Control R. That means page size to the size of what you have chosen. And if you hit that, you see that the paper size adapts to that. So then we now have set the paper size, which is important. And now we are going to make two new layers, because for Inkcut we need the things we want to plot and the things we want to cut in different layers. So Inkcut is layer based. Therefore we have here layer, yeah, Ebene means layer in English. Here the second one, add a layer, and then call the first one plot. And then the second one cut. So, and this is still on another layer. Therefore, what we want to do is also again to select all, and then you can go to the context menu, right mouse button, shift to layer. There's a menu point, shift to layer. And then we may want to shift everything to plot for the moment. So now everything is in plot, which is great. What we now need is only the cutting lines to get into the cut layer. So we have two options now. We can just shift the cutting line to the cut layer. Then it won't show up in the plot layer. So if you plot out something, it will be plotted without the outer line. This is not what I want, but I want to have it plotted and then cut, because then I see how precise these cheap Chinese plotting machines work, because you have a two-step process, and over these 1.5 meters, or depending on your pattern, things can shift a little bit, and the origin needs to be set exactly, and so on. Therefore, I personally, my workflow is to copy that. So now we again want to select all, and then we need to ungroup things, because we need to take only the cutting layer. So then also context menu, right mouse button, and then Gruppierung aufheben, ungroup. It takes a little bit, and you see everything is split apart. And then comes some Inkscape magic. I will zoom in a little bit. I now choose one, it's irrespective, just one of these outer layers. You see that that's the red contour, you see it down here. And then Inkscape has a magic functionality, also context menu, right mouse button. And then there's something, choose the same, a menu button. Choose the same, and there's another menu, and then you say contour color of the contour. And then you see everything is chosen. So Inkscape has now chosen all red contours here. This is exactly what I want. And then if you don't want to have this line plotted, then you can just shift it over to the other layer. What I do now is hit Control D for duplicate. This is now very delicious. You are not allowed to make any mistake here. So hit Control D. And then go to, then you have doubled it and it's still selected. And then you need to also, now I take this is more safe. Also the menu point, shift the selection to another layer. And then I choose, of course, the cut layer and say shift over here. Then it looks like that. It's very interesting. Don't know why, but you can easily fix that by going here to the filling and contour menu and say you want to have any filling in here. And then everything looks like normal. So this is what you need to do in Inkscape. So process now finished. You just need to hit the save button. Save it here. I just save it in the same file here. And that's fine. Then next step is Inkcut. So we have opened Inkcut. You can install it from GitHub. And here you need to install the special version my son did. I will put a link to the GitHub fork here in the description because if we want to cut the paper, we need this special filter with the perforating cut feature. So I open the correct file. Let's see, YouTube here, that one. And then you have here on the side, here's are the layers. You see both are chosen. So I firstly put away the cut, then you see what it is plotted. So this is everything that is plotted. That looks fine. Inkcut also tells you in which order the things are plotted and so on. And to see if everything is fine, I put out everything and then put in the cut layer, and you see cut layer is really only the outer outlines without everything else. So looks good. Then we choose the plot layer because first we want to plot, and then just let the machine plot. Yeah? I assume you have set it up here with your device. Can be fairly complicated. In my case here, the file is sent over USB IP because I'm here on the second floor and the plotter is in the basement. So there are 3 stories below me. Therefore, USB cable doesn't make sense. And these, you may know, these cheap Chinese plotters don't have any network functionality. They only have a USB. And therefore, in my case here, it's connected over USB IP. So you need to set it up properly. And then you just say, in my opinion, I need to take the setup first and see if the filter is switched off, these perforating, because now, yeah, so it's not activated. That's what I want. And then we can send it to the machine. You see here, send it to machine and say start. And then the thing should plot, what we will see in a moment. So after we have plotted everything, we now need to cut. So we have changed the pen to the knife. So the knife is now in the plotter. And now we need to, let's make it, choose the right layer first. Now we want to cut, not to plot. So we need the cutting layer, only the cutting lines here. So that's the first thing to choose. And then you may want to go to the setup and then activate the perforation filter, which is below here. So perforating can activate, and then you have a cut length and a bridge length. So the original amounts are, for me, it's too hard to draw out, so I always take 5 millimeters cut length, but leave the bridge length as it is. So it's 0.5 millimeter more or less. Start with cut is also fine. That's what you want to have. So perforation filter activated, cut length 5 millimeters, bridge length something about 0.5 millimeter. And then you do the same thing again. We now say send to the device, to the plotter, means plot, start. And then the thing begins to cut. And that's everything what we need to do on the computer, on the machine here. The rest will be done on the plotter and in your cozy sewing room, wherever you do that. So this is how it looks like after plotting. You can see the machine was fairly precise. And now you just need to more or less draw out this perforation. It's very easy. It saves you a lot of time, because normally you would need to cut that out with scissors, and this takes quite a long time. Believe me, I did that for years now, and it's so convenient to just have to draw it out like that, and it's as precise as the machine is. So first part, and that goes always the same like. You see it's very easy to get that stuff out there. So it only takes a few minutes, and you'll have that task finished. Here you can see the machine was not so precise, but yeah, in principle it's only an overlay here, so main point is that the cutout itself is precise, and if it's a little bit shifted with the plot, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so we are at the end of that video. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have questions, just leave me a comment. If I should explain something else, or if I missed some point, I'm not sure here. It's not the easiest process, but if you have set it up, it's very convenient for you. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.